So you be practicing.
See what happened. See what happened when you get some new technology. You don't know how to
Yeah.
act, boy. I
Well, I guess
swear.
I'll just say it's this then. Since just like,
That's it.
man.
See, you
Mm-mm-mm.
now you have no excuse not to ever join. You say, hey, just throw it
Yeah,
on a
you're
little
right.
rotating thing.
You're
Right.
right.
And you got
That's
an
it.
iPhone, so you're good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for you.
Can't do it
No,
on the
it's a
Android.
great thing. It's a great thing.
Sorry.
Can't exactly. Sorry for you. Exactly.
Sorry for you. Yeah, man.
You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
The hot seed.
Welcome all. I'm Sean, along with my co-host Earl,
Yo.
Dave,
Yes, sir.
and you know what it is. We're just dads with mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. As always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast, and be sure to listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, on Joy, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows. Go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel, man, at the Hot Seed Podcast. Make sure you like it as well. Give us a review so let us know how well we're doing. It's episode 138. The boys are back in the building once again. Welcome, welcome. After we had like a nice festive Sunday, to say the least. We'll talk about that shortly. Some Grammy talk, some other things on the Black History Month and such. Before we get into all that, though, how you guys doing?
Well, shit, after this technical difficulty I just had, I guess I'm all right, man. Shit.
He's blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, blessed and highly favored.
If you guys are wondering, if you're watching or listening, and if Earl sounds a little muted, kind of issues or something like that, it's because we're doing it from an iPhone because, for whatever reason, the good old work laptop just ain't working. So,
Yeah, it's not acting right.
yeah, I don't get it. It happens. It happens to the best of us, man. How's your week, brother?
That was pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Kind of felt a little sports wise. Kind of felt a little slow. I had to subject myself to that bullshit Pro Bowl crap.
Oh
And
man.
what made it even worse is that when I saw that they was playing flag football, I was like, all right, let me turn this shit off. Like I was utterly upset. So I'm getting to the I'm getting to the realization that this week is the last week of football and I'm about to be sad. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Time for us all.
Yeah, it is.
Depressing time. Yeah,
It is.
It is. Storyteller, how about you, my friend? How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to get everything out and done this week early so that nobody can bother me going into the weekend.
Right.
Earl heard some of my talk online to the
Facts.
missus. Like, look, they're playing all that stuff for like Friday, Saturday. Because Sunday, well, the
It's
game
clip.
ain't till no.
Nah, it's clip. It's clip.
All of Sunday, I am done.
It's
There
clip.
ain't nothing I'm doing in the morning, and none of that.
Yeah.
By the way, once again, I will say that Monday should be a national holiday. I say it every year.
It
Well, I
absolutely
work from
should be,
home.
man.
I work from
It
home,
should
so
be.
it's a holiday for me.
I don't
It
understand how it's not yet.
when I was in the military, man, I was overseas, and I think I told the story before, man. We actually you got the day off. Like if we had we had minimal manning, is what they called it at the time. And there were certain things that you had to have somebody on duty. But besides that, nobody was working on Super Bowl Sunday. Nobody at all. Something just happened to Dave. I'm not sure what happened, but no one worked. And I was, I'm being at the time I was part of the maintenance support team, so we were the antenna guys and such. So we were on call just in case something went down, but we made sure that everything stayed up
It's good to
within
go.
our
Yeah.
yes, yeah. It's the last thing you want is hey, the Super Bowl is down, and we the antenna guys, and we got to go jump up on something, a roof or antenna somewhere to make sure the shot's coming in. Not a good thing.
It's a long night for y'all.
Yeah, but we were good. We had no issues. We had no issues at all. But yeah, there was no one worked that day. Everybody, like I said, we had duty or something like that. But we switched out, and typically the folks who's on the food side, the cooks and stuff, they had either it was something happening down at the chow hall or at like one of the AFE spots or something like that. So it was dope. But we went to bars. I was overseas. We did what we did. It's fine.
Nah,
But yeah, it was good there. But yeah, after to you guys' point, the day after should absolutely be a national holiday. Yeah, and for the record, the game starts Sunday at 9:30, and it starts with us. Football Talk Live, Super Bowl pregame show, 9:30 a.m. YouTube, Facebook, IG Live.
Bro, when you said 9:30, I was like, what? That's fucking
AM.
wrong. Then I realized what you were talking about. Okay, you're right. It's 9:30.
You're part of that.
Yeah, pregame show.
I'm like, the game
we
don't
gonna
start
talk.
I did not get the memo? 9:30.
We're gonna talk some Super Bowl stories, some new coaching hirings. We even gonna do our first mock draft. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about some tailgating. Have some fun. Get some audience participation and stuff like that. It's gonna be a fun time, man.
Let's go Giants. All right.
All right. Come on, I'm having a good day.
I mean, the week was decent for me, but I'll say today was great. You know why? I feel accomplished. I installed a cat door today, and the shit was fun. So I had to take down
installed a what?
Cat door. I installed a cat door today.
Yeah, fuck them cats.
Yeah, installed a cat door. It's for the cat that's in the house. So we have the one door. Dave knows, that goes down to.
Oh my god.
So it's techno. What is happening here? He's the worst.
I feel like I'm watching like a Childish Gambino.
Oh my god, man!
Movie music video.
This is America.
Don't be
Oh my god, this guy's the worst. So yeah, man, like the door that goes down to the lower level, we kept it open so the cat can go downstairs because her automatic, litter box is down there. But it's like it lets a draft through. So finally, after about a year of owning the house, finally decided to install the cat door that the missus had purchased. And after I did it, I looked at it with my hands on my hip and just looked down at it and was like, fucking feel accomplished right now.
So you want this cat to come in and out?
What do you mean? It's inside the house. She's our cat. Yeah, she's our cat.
But,
yeah,
I mean,
but no, she's
other kittens and shit like that.
No. This is inside the house, meaning this is just from our main level to the lower level. So that door that goes. So instead of us having to keep it open, like we did before, she can we keep that door closed and she just go through the cat door. So that's what I mean. Oh hell no, we're not. We're not about to have that. Look, yeah.
Once again, he lit. Let me not.
Yeah.
He ain't doing nothing extra to let nobody forget a cat.
Hell no. Look. We got cameras and all type of shit in my house. Like I don't care. We're not doing that.
They be passing babies through that joint. Talking about just open it. Just open it. It's right there.
I told you we had a fox. The last thing I need is a goddamn fox coming through the house. I'm like, you know what? Just take the whole house, sir. Just take the whole house. That's the only thing. Yeah, I can't do it.
You got foxes in your town, on your side of the town?
We got one fox, bro, that comes to the backyard because we got these big ass, fattened up rabbits that just eats the grass and whatever else they do in my yard, whatever they do. And so that's what draws him there. It's just one beautiful fox, but he's like the size of a husky. He's big as shit. I can lie.
You need to get a paintball gun for that or a BB gun for his ass.
I mean, he ain't bothered me. I ain't bothered him. Benny then came back every time he went outside. So if I don't hear him come back and scratching on the door, I'm like, oh,
fox I got a fat ass groundhog that I need to get rid of. He good right now, but come around.
Did he see a shadow? Did you see a shadow or no?
No, I saw his fat ass. And everything that he
super pause. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Speaking of which, it's supposed to be 60-something degrees this weekend, bro.
Yes.
Don't fall for that bullshit.
The groundhog talking about the spring coming early, and I'm like, when did winter happen?
Don't fall for that. No. Don't bring winter here. I'm good.
Hey, look,
your winter is different, Earl.
Well,
yeah. I will gladly pull out my clubs and gladly slide my ass over to the range. Gladly.
That was really
that was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot.
Pull out and slide. I just wow. Show was about to be a wrap. Welcome to the WB.
It's it's been all over the place, man. Because we went from right after that winter storm we had, and it's what almost 80 degrees. Then it drops back down. Then a couple of days ago, it's like 60 degrees outside, and then it's cold now. Then it's listen, I told you, the earth is going to hell in a handbasket, and it's not going to be good. That's all I know. I guess. Let's get into some conversation, man.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So last night, actually now night before last, because now we're recording 9:30 on Tuesday night, so February 6th for timestamp guy. Sunday night was the 66th annual Grammy Awards. That was televised live, quote unquote, at 8 a.m. Although the Grammys actually start a little earlier in the day. There's a lot of Grammys that are given out. There's no way that they can do all this in that 3-hour period. But at the same time, I feel like they can show a lot more, because if you really look at how much stuff is actually shown during that 3.5-hour period, they stretch a lot of shit out for no reason, in my opinion. And some things that I would like to see, like there was one, and shout out to, I forget the teacher's name, and I apologize. It was a teacher from Annandale, Virginia, man. She won a Grammy for, I think it was like for teacher. I want like teacher of the year or something like that. She's an orchestra teacher out there, which is pretty dope. I'm Virginia, man.
So
which
you can win
dope.
Grammys to teach?
There's
Music.
Grammys, yeah, for music. So, but it's different, yeah, in the music department. So it's different types of Grammys. It's not just album of the year, rap. There's different Grammys you can win. There's different awards in that case. Like you have like
put that on your resume. Like, yeah, I got a
it's-
Grammy.
I just like the fact that she's from Northern Virginia, yeah, but she was an orchestra teacher, which is was near and dear to my heart. So that was pretty dope to see.
I mean,
you in class
hardly
like
music fucking programs in schools no more. So I mean,
it's not. So yeah, I'm surprised. I am surprised. All I know is, as a student, when you walk in her class and you see that goddamn Grammy sitting on her desk,
man, them kids don't
you
give a
need
shit.
they
Yeah,
don't.
I'm sorry. They don't. They really don't, man. They really don't. That shit don't move them.
I mean,
nah.
some of the kids do. Some of the kids that I can't
Half
say
of the
that
kids,
because that would get us. That would, yeah.
These kids don't even know what a Grammy is, yo. I'll be honest with you. Like they don't know what a Grammy is.
Sadly,
They really don't.
I guess those
It's
kids.
true, because 21 Savage was up in the building, and I don't know if you heard what they said at the beginning of the show, but they said that man got, I guess with some new track he dropped in 2024, he got over 1 billion streams already.
Yeah,
Trevor Noah shouted him out. I was like, shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, to Earl's point, these kids don't know what a Grammy is, and apparently some of the voters don't know what Grammys are either. But let's just roll right into it. So the highlight of the show.
Hold on, because you about to go. If you about to go into that part, I need to get some people respect on the Grammys before you do all that.
No. The highlight of the show actually isn't what everybody think we're going to talk about.
I'm about to say, because that's about to change the whole.
No, was
I got time for that. I got time
for Tracy Chapman. If you guys saw,
yes.
that was, in my opinion, was the highlight of the show.
I love
so
that.
y'all actually watch this shit? Yeah, like y'all actually said.
I've watched half of it and seen highlights.
Man.
But let us know.
Damn. I watch the Grammys every single year.
Aren't you part of?
Watch the Grammys.
Yeah, ain't you? Well, he has to, right?
I don't have to. I don't have to watch the Grammys.
You better do it, boy. You better do it, boy.
I boycott that like Jay-Z.
That fake ass boycott still watching.
Right.
But so I mean, for like seeing Tracy Chapman out there performing a song, man, that is about, I want to say, what, 40 years old. Fast Cars, man, and her voice still being what it is.
Killed it. Yeah.
And the thing about that is the essence of the Grammys. Okay. Strip away all the luxury that you see from everybody that's in that auditorium. Okay. There's easily, I can't even add it up, but between the attire and the jewelry, there's easily, a couple of $1 billion worth of just stuff people are wearing on Grammy night, which the Grammys at its essence, that's not really what the Grammys was about or is about. but it has turned into something to where the regular person who watches it, you're just looking at a bunch of people that is, they're like walking billboards for whatever attire that they're doing and all the commercials and stuff like that. Commercials that you only see during the Grammys, kind of like Super Bowl.
Mhm.
But it's become so commercialized. Back in the day, you had some people who dressed up. Some of the people who were part of the orgs and stuff like that were black and white, type stuff. But the performance and stuff, they were there. They didn't do all the other fancy stuff. And now, I think when they constantly take shots out into the crowd, it takes away from the true essence of what the Grammy is, and actually getting this award from your peers for the most part. In this case, but there's a lot of politics with it. But again, to circle back to having Tracy Chapman up there performing with Luke Combs, is his name, which was pretty dope. I think that was the highlight of the night for me. And the
Not for
other
me.
lady, the older white lady, I forget her name, bruh. She's like 80 years old. She's a OG. And I apologize again. I watching her perform and knowing, what she had went through. Actually, they were saying when they were announcing her coming out or performing, and she performed, with the guitarist and the string quartet and stuff like that. Her going through her whole health thing to the point to where she, like, I think they said she learned to walk 3 times, had to learn to walk 3 times, and the fact that she was performing for the first time in eons at 80 years old, and her voice was still immaculate for what her voice is, was dope. Like those type of things I like to see at the Grammys. I was not a fan of the Travis Scott performance. I like Travis Scott, some of Travis Scott's
They let this.
songs, but
Oh,
I
I wanted
didn't
to
like
call
that
it.
performance. I
I was
didn't
about to say
like that
something.
Fiend performance. I didn't see
They
that.
let that young man perform.
Yeah, he performed. He was up for album of the year for Utopia.
Okay.
So and
Okay.
but I mean, what else from what you watched,
All right.
Dave? I know
I
you
didn't
said
watch.
FSO. What you got?
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Dave.
What you got?
I gotta give Tracy Chapman was on my list, definitely. John Batiste.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yes.
you
Yeah.
saw his part during like the memorial
Yeah.
part right
Right.
after Stevie.
Hey, Stevie was performing.
He did the memorial part to who did he dedicate it to? Tony Bennett, because
Mhm.
those two were really
Oh,
good friends.
Yeah.
So he did a thing with, I don't know if it was like an AI generated Tony Bennett type thing. It was weird but dope at the same time. Like, you know how
Yeah.
you see those holograms, you're like, damn, that looked just like Pac, and you're like, damn, that's creepy. It was sort of, it
Right.
wasn't a hologram, but the way they did it, they were performing together, and
together.
Tony Bennett was
Gotcha.
on screen and shouting out
Stevie.
Stevie Wonder at the same time.
Oh, that's
Right.
dope.
So that was cool, and you could see that it was a very heartfelt moment because Stevie was talking about like he was a teenager listening to Tony Bennett and how he wrote music and all
Mhm.
that type of stuff.
Mm.
But then it switched over to John Batiste, and I had to look over at Andrea and go, you know what? When's the last time the Grammys took you to church? Because that's where he went.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
really?
took
Absolutely.
that.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
saw that
Yes.
performance,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, everybody about to come out on this joint. Like
He
Erica
sings?
Campbell about to be out here. Yeah.
Because I
He
know he plays
plays
the piano.
instruments and stuff. Yeah.
Yo, he's
He's
crazy with it,
good.
man.
He's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
And he gives me a more upbeat John Legend vibe, kind of like
Yeah.
in that artistry type of thing. But I really love him every single time he performs. And like I said, he brought them to church. And I had to look at Andrew and I was like, when's the last time you seen a gospel performance? Not that this was all gospel, but on the Grammys. Like these are the things
The
that are
Clark
cut out.
sisters when they was running out there. Hallelujah.
You get what I mean? Like it gave a real nice vibe to it. Fantasia's tribute to Tina Turner, off the chain.
Yes. Dope.
Off
Yeah.
the chain.
Yeah,
I
I heard
Yeah.
about
mean,
that.
for
Yeah.
all the people that just jumped on that track through some Color Purple or something, you've been missing the boat. Fantasia is probably one of the most undermarketed artists and
Right.
underappreciated as far as getting the right writers around her and stuff like that are out there, because she could sing.
Oh
Not
no, she
sing.
got some.
She can
some
sing.
writers.
No, she has
Yes.
some jam, but you know what I'm talking about. People should be
When
Yeah.
I
talking
see
about
you, when I see you, is
Fantasia.
a hood classic.
First of
bro.
all, she got
you're
that.
missing the point. She should be one of those people that are mentioned every single with the Grammys. She's never up here for no Grammys. She's never up here for one of the top artists that are out there.
Yeah,
An album is never put together in that way.
She's not that type of artist. Like she's not a. For her to be mentioned, she would have to be a pop artist. She would have to be a Beyonce or Whitney Houston. She's not
She's
like a pop. She's not a pop type. She don't have a
she's
pop
old.
voice.
She's old school. She's old school
Yeah.
R&B.
Yeah,
First of
she's
all,
like Aretha
Right.
if y'all
Franklin,
didn't
like
know
that type
already,
of stuff.
she got that
But they don't
Haley
talk
blood
to her
in
in
her.
that sense.
Yeah, she got that Haley blood in it. If you know Haley, I'm
That's
talking
what I'm
about that
saying.
Casey and JoJo Haley. That's her
That's
family.
her cousin.
Whenever you need anybody to honor somebody, that's when they call Fantasia, and that's about
Yeah.
it.
But it's
Yeah.
a certain person that they honoring. If it's like a old,
No, that's what I'm saying. I understand that, but she's more than that, bro. Like her voice is something that, and I think it's underappreciated.
But that go ahead.
And well, you know what? We'll get to the other two things
Yeah, I
because
mean,
the scissor stuff leads into.
It was kind of feeding on to that point, but I was saying like, I think that's one of the issues that's wrong with the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't about the voice, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's about, in my opinion, I think it's about like popularity. You know what's gonna get people to view the awards. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. But that's why I said like I think with Fantasia, like, yeah, she's dope. You know, another person that they always bring out to do tributes, Stevie Wonder. He's always doing tribute. Stevie Wonder comes on there damn near every year and does a tribute. You know what I'm saying? Stevie Wonder, and it's because, like, I mean, taking aside that he's dope, but it's just like, yo, he could play piano. Like, he's one of those people I feel like you can go through any genre. He can, he could do. And then also too, he knew a lot of these people.
I was about to say he's touched.
Yeah, he had
connections. All these,
had connections with a lot of people. It's not too many artists that you could kind of do that with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but go ahead.
I'll say this one thing that I forgot to point out, and I think as great as the Tracy Chapman moment was, the best, I guess, performance of the night, in my opinion, actually came from Billie Eilish. You don't have to be a Billie Eilish fan.
Oh,
that young woman, right? Yeah, that young woman right there, Billie Eilish. That young woman there, man. Listen, her voice is so good, and it's one of those ones where if you saw her, you'd be like, huh? But then she sing, you'd be like, oh, my bad. She's super dope, bro. Like, her voice is so dope. It doesn't. It's two different. There's two different things. There's the Billie Eilish that you see that might look like one of those grunge type, she's not even a teenager now. That she's a young woman at this point. But when she first came out, her brother Phineas, man, and they've been dope since the beginning. But
is she a writer too?
Yeah, her brother Phineas is the one there. So yeah, I've been listening to women.
My goodness.
Yeah, man, yo, when that mic is on, yo, her voice is so dope, man.
Is it just me? Because like, I'm. That's why I asked y'all a question. Y'all must have thought I was joking. I was dead serious. I was like, y'all watched the Grammys.
Yeah.
Dave said he seen half of it.
I seen half of it.
And then Sean, you said you watched it.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
So I guess with me, like, I watched the Grammys with hate, if this makes sense. So let me break it down.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
I don't hate anybody, but I watch it in disgust because I'm like, one, again, this goes back to one. If first of all, if there isn't any music that I listen to that I'm just like, yo, they had a dope album. Let me see if the Grammy pays them, homage or whatever.
Yeah.
Then there's no need for me to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because half of the other music I don't listen to. Then the other thing is, when you do watch the Grammys, if there is that year where you're like, yo, you got this dope artist that especially in our community, had a breakout year, had that album. Like, the last one I could really think about is let's look at Kendrick Lamar. What's the one with We Gonna Be All Right?
Oh, you talking
Like
about
that
I know
album,
what you're
right?
talking
To Pimp a- I think it was to
To
Pimp a
Pimp a
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Yeah, to
Yeah.
Pimp a Butterfly. So with that, I wanted to see not even rap category because I'm like, we know he gonna win the rap. I wanted to see if he was gonna get
about. Album
love
of the year.
and I get album of the year. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I don't remember, I don't recall, but I'm just saying, like when stuff like that happens, I like to see it.
Mhm.
Then I'll look at like R&B. I can't even really call R&B no more because you have
Right.
all these people, in my opinion, who I don't feel like it's R&B, and you put them in
Right.
that category. But then I'll look at like jazz. So like if Robert Glasper has an album out, I'll try to see if he won. But then I ain't gonna hold you. He's kind of out of place because his jazz is like a fusion, and you're
Right.
putting him in like traditional.
You
So
putting them in there, Winston
Yeah.
Marsalis.
well, right. And he was even talking about it because he was like, "Yo, they had to make another category for him." And what's the other young lady who plays the she plays the flute or the violin? I'm gonna find her name. She's black. She's mixed.
Okay.
Um, but
She played the bass.
yeah,
The bass. You talking about the bass? You talking about
she got
Oh
like a
man.
lot of hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
She don't play.
I,
I thought it wasn't. I thought it was like the flute or the
you're
violin.
right. I'll think about somebody else, but okay, I got you. I got you.
But yeah, so I watch it with hate because it's like I'm just sitting up here like, yo, they about to really screw another artist, and it's not even like that. I'm shitting on the other artists. You understand what I'm saying?
hmm
But I'm just like, yo, it's so many times where I'm just like, yo, dog.
It's blatant.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so now it gets to the point now where that's why like legit my version of watching it was whatever they put on IG. Like
Mhm.
so I saw the Jay-Z part, which I didn't even know he was gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? I saw what happened to Killer Mike. And I forgot that Killer Mike
Mhm.
had that album. And I was like, but again, I would have never even thought that Killer Mike would have, won, they'd have made him win for album
That
of the
was
year
that was
for
easily
rap.
album of the year.
Well,
Yeah,
Easily.
I
yeah.
heard
So
they didn't show it anyway, right?
no, they
That
didn't.
wasn't
They
showed, right?
didn't. They didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't.
They didn't air
Yeah,
any of the
he
rap.
got the award because it starts at like 6 o'clock,
But
something
that's
like
No,
that
but
for
I'm
the time. Yeah,
saying
it was
they could have
crazy.
easily fit.
but that's
They
regardless.
know
Oh yeah,
that's a
absolutely,
main
absolutely.
genre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But see,
right.
but
It,
again,
it
that
is
goes
until it
back
ain't.
to but
Yeah.
no, but listen, that goes back to popularity. Who else was in that? Who else was in that category that was worthwhile?
In that one, you had
If
you
Jay Z, Kendrick
Nas, you had
Lamar,
Nas and Metro
Mhm.
Boomin, and I think you had 21 Savage and Drake in the rap album of the year
well, I
category.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I mean, to
yeah.
be honest with you, it
Yeah.
wasn't. None of them really had albums that I could say. Drake album was an R&B album. Can't really call that a rap
Well,
album.
no, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about it's
Which
the
one?
Her Lost one. It's the one that the collab
That
joint
shit
he
was
did with
trash.
21 Savage. Yeah, it was Her Lost. That
Oh, the
was
one
done.
with 21.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was in there for rap album of the year. Nas's King's Disease 3 was in there.
hmm
Metro Boomin, Heroes and Villains, and then Travis Scott Utopia, which I didn't think that was in the rap album of the year because that to your and not to compare, but Travis Scott to me is kind of like a Robert Glasper. What I mean by that is you can't just throw him into
no,
no. Listen to what
no.
I'm saying. Oh my God, this guy. Listen to what I'm saying. Like you can't just throw Robert Glass like you were saying into like a jazz. They'll put him in traditional because that's not him. Travis Scott ain't just rap. Like his joint is like electron. Like hell, when they were performing
He's trash
Fiend
to
the other
me.
night,
Yeah, he's fucking trash
you know
to me,
he does
dog.
what he does.
He's trash.
Um, but it's that's not what I consider to be rap traditionalist in there. So it's like one of those things where I think he's more so I think it'll be like alternative hip hop type situation, but whatever. Um,
Yeah,
there's
but
so
so
many
I'm
different there's layers
So
to the go ahead.
no, I was about to say. So since you brought it up, stay right there with say because this leads right in. Great segue into the Killer Mike discussion, for example.
Yeah.
mhm,
A main genre
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't televised.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, won I want to say three. He won 3 Grammys, right?
3,
3,
yeah, because
yeah.
he got
All
rap
right.
album of the year, he got song scientist and engineer, and then he got one more. I forget the third one he got.
So
Yeah.
then after everything on stage, Then you see TMZ as normal shoot out with the video,
Mm-hmm.
and you see him being handcuffed.
Right.
And then that thing is posted everywhere. The show's not even over yet. Show's not even over
Nowhere
yet. This
near
thing is
over.
out there. I'm already sending it over to Earl, like, yo, do you see this joint?
Right.
And I'm like, this is crazy. To come down to the fact of them saying there was some type of altercation with the guard that was there
Security guard,
about
yeah.
what way he was supposed to go in and go out and his entourage and blah, blah, blah. And first day Earl and I said to each other, so if you're just, want to question him, why you got the handcuffs?
Right.
Why has that got to be the visual for a man that just
And you
won
said-
3 Grammys?
And
They ain't
you
taking
said
him to
they didn't
jail.
even take him to jail, right?
No,
You said
they
to
took
the back.
him right into a room right there at the facility, but they brought him back there handcuffed. And he's talking. People are shouting out to him. He's talking regular and everything, and they bring him on in there. And he even said, he made a statement afterwards, it was a misunderstanding that this should be all cleared up. It was something with the guard and with my entourage and how we were supposed to blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I told Earl this. I said, every single time there's this type of moment for us, it gets taken away through something else. You know what I mean? That night for Will Smith was supposed to be the night, and we were supposed to talk about King Richard and everything else like that. And next thing you know, by his doing, but next thing you know, we're not talking about that no more. All you hear is about the slap. Now with the Killer Mike thing, oh man, Killer Mike done came up, man. Man, that Mike album, blah, blah, blah. You see him leaving out through TMZ and with handcuffs on, going into a room. And now, boom, it's all over the internet. And that's where my part, I do agree with Earl on, where I'm like, really, bro? Like, for all the other things that you could skim over and not let get out, this is the thing that gets out for Killer Mike now? First, you don't televise it, and the thing that you do televise in a way because it gets out there so quick is the fact that he's in handcuffs. Come on.
Well, TMZ gonna do it. If nobody else, TMZ gonna be the first. Like, I don't know shit. I stopped even pretending like I know what they do. The fact that whatever their leads they got, they're gonna be the first one to have that shit.
Everybody that works at any event that goes on
everybody,
in the world.
Bro. Everybody.
Biggest payroll
ever.
I don't know. You turned your camera off, Earl?
Yeah.
So this is where it's one of those things where you want to. It's this space where you enjoy this creative path that you're on. And then being as a creator, naturally, you want people to not only enjoy it, but if you feel like it's really, really, really good, depending on who you are, you want people to recognize it. And that is what the Grammys are. If you notice, there's certain people that hardly ever are at the Grammys, ever. Hell, I mean, it's you hardly, outside of To Pimp a Butterfly, I don't remember another year that I saw Kendrick there. He might have been, so correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to,
most rap artists, period, because of what you just saw.
Yeah, you got well, not just that, but the fact that some of them, and you could tell by the way they do things, you don't see a J. Cole there. They don't put all their stock into the Grammy aspect. They don't. And while you get great stories like the teacher from out of Annandale, Virginia, who got that recognition as being like the music teacher of the year, something like that. For I gotta look it up and I'll put anything in that. That's dope. Like that's something that we always talk about, how teachers don't get paid enough to what they do and stuff like that. In itself is dope. For me, the Grammy part that resonates is stuff like record of the year. And what I mean by that is, it's not the person who won the record of the year and even talking about album of the year. Album of the year and record of the year is two different things. Album of the year, that goes to the person and the persons who wrote that album, and it's the whole thing is a combined thing. Record of the year, that includes the person that performing and like the producer. So that's the mechanical side. That's the part that's near and dear to my heart. And there's a bunch of other Grammys. If you look at the Grammy list, for people get like for best score and stuff like that. That's kind of stuff that is near and dear to me, which is dope. That stuff you won't see on TV. What we see on TV is the stuff, I guess, that you guys said is all marketing. It's kind of drive popularity. to those particular artists and such.
Those names.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's they get those names for everybody to tune in. I mean, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for that, nobody would to chime in to the Grammys. We do get the good moments like the Tracy Chapman, and at the end, what was the last? Well, you haven't seen the last one, but there's a last performance on there. You get those in there. You get those dope performances, which are really dope because those songs are really like that. But overall, sliding right into the to the Jay-Z speech, and he just said it what it was, and in a not Kanye way. How does he said this young lady? I like how he refers to his wife as young lady, but I guess he want to. I don't know.
Wait,
Maybe
my
this way.
bad. Time out,
What?
my bad. Before because we got off, I wanted to make a point about Mike.
Right.
The problem that I had with the Mike thing, right? Some of it I do feel was just coincidental. But the issue that I had is that at the end of the day, you're at the Grammys. I wanted LAPD or whatever that was to just make better judgment. You're at the Grammys, even if you don't know who this person is, right? At the end of the day, you know there's a bunch of celebrities, well-known people here, things of that nature. Was it necessary for you to put him in handcuffs? And that was my biggest thing. Because I also looked at it, had that been somebody of another color, I don't think he would have put him in handcuffs. I think it would have just been, you know what, let's go
unless
to
you
the
were
back.
taking them to jail.
Yeah, let's go to the back. But if you're talking about we're gonna go to the back, there was no need to put him in handcuffs. He wasn't resistant. This man has on a full tuxedo. Like obviously he's supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? Or he's somebody attending. But it's like, yo, you needed to put him. And then the security guard, like if I was Mike's team, I'd have had a problem. I'd say, you know what, yo, who runs this? Because now I need to have a conversation with them about the security guard. Because clearly, like, it was to the point where you had to put me in cuffs.
Right.
Now, granted, I don't know. Nobody knows all of the outs, inner workings of what happened. But again, I just always think about, like, what's excessive, and how this could have went a whole nother way. And then what made it worse is that, you got TMZ we live in the era of video cameras. So you're going to have people video camera, you know what I mean? And then it just, again, just coincidentally, this man just won 3. And it's like, yo, oh man, right after he won 3, he's going to jail. I really think that was just a coincidence, but it just
it wasn't a good look. It was not a good look at
no,
all.
it was unnecessary. That's my thing.
All I know is that the security person, for what I understand, got pushed over. Bro, if you got pushed over, you should resign as a security person. Because you at the Grammys, there's some big artists there. So I'm assuming this security person should have been of ample stature, I would think. I don't know. If you got pushed over, be like, you might want to rethink your security. Oh no.
Or have better security.
Right. Yo.
Like,
yeah. They got better security.
Why is this function ran so bad where the actual people that are up for awards don't know where to go?
Right.
Yeah, that's wild. So to circle back to the thing that's being most talked about right now is the Jay-Z speech. And of course, he accepted the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, which was pretty dope. And I think this is the second one I think they say they gave, if I'm correct.
Because he was the first. Dr. Dre was the first.
Yeah, right. Year. I guess that would be right, which is kind of funny considering that Jay-Z actually wrote for Dr. Dre. So that makes it even interesting. So he goes in, and I'll say this is the one thing that I was taken aback by, because you don't see this happen often. This is the first time ever in my life of watching Jay-Z speak. And usually I don't really see, he don't do award shows as much. Usually it's like interviews and stuff that he's much more, relaxed. I'd never in all these years have ever seen Jay-Z nervous. Like he was dead ass. He was nervous, like nervous. And, you get nervous because that's not something that he's speaking in front of people like that. And I think part of it might have been nervous because I felt like he had a bunch that he wanted to say, but he was trying to make sure, okay, let me say it in a way to where I don't let that that inner self out. But he got to the point and he was talking about Beyonce, even though he described her as this young lady, and he asked her, he said, to the he talked about his whole boycott of the Grammys back in '98.
You spoke about Will Smith.
Yep,
Will Smith and
DMX.
DJ Jazzy.
Yeah, DMX got nominated. He boycotted this shit because DMX, and that was crazy. That was the year that DMX dropped both of those 2 albums. And you talk about the initial boycott of the first hip hop rap Grammy Award that wasn't televised. And then he went to the bigger point that Beyonce has the most Grammys of anybody in history and has never won a album of the year award, which was,
he said by your own metrics, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the math ain't mathing. And then this is the same night that Taylor Swift wins her fourth album of the year. And if you go back,
mind you, that's before that too.
Yeah, and mind you, and then again,
so it's like he knew.
Yeah, and this is before that happened. And 2, I said not Kanye. Remember the infamous Kanye goes up on stage and say, she keeps the max. I'm sorry, but Beyonce had the best album of the year. Joint that,
So can I pause you real quick just because you just said that comment?
Go ahead.
For the people that are all over the internet, the web, and everything, trying to compare the two, there's no comparison. Number one, this is my award. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say when I get on that stage. That's number one. Kanye interrupted somebody that was getting their actual award.
Interrupted speech. Exactly.
This is my award. I can say whatever the hell I want to say. Okay. Number 2, tell me where the lie is at. Where's the lie?
Yeah.
He even told them straight up, you ain't got to applause everything I'm saying. You ain't got to clap. You know what I mean? Like, don't give me the bullshit clap. Because I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. So why are you clapping for something I'm pointing out to you? So, whether you're a Beyonce fan, this wasn't just a Beyonce comment. This was for everybody that's sitting out there busting their tail to even get in the room, as they say, to get in the room. And it feels like the story's already written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to go a step further real quick. I haven't heard Taylor Swift's album. I'm not here to hate on Taylor Swift. I know she does what she does and brings in the money that she does and all that type of stuff. So I'm not even going to hate on what she does. But if you look all over social media, you'll see some of her people that listen to her music. Some of them are saying that last album that she just won album of the year for, what's her worst album? Was her worst album songwriting wise. They still brought it. They listened to it. They're a fan. They went to the concert, all that type of stuff. But as far as album wise, it was the worst album she's ever put out.
Yeah.
And this was SZA's night. And she was ruling the night. And there you go.
And that's the part that...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And that's the part that is interesting about this. Because you can go back through history on the album of the years. The album of the year winners, when you go you listen to their complete albums, it's a very, 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 very vulnerable piece all the way around. Like you get into the nooks and crannies of what that artist was thinking. The fact that Beyonce, and I'm not a big Beyonce fan, but I know music. The Lemonade album, and I think you guys may have listened to a couple of pieces that that was doing. They were going through their thing with Jay-Z. If nothing else, that one didn't win that year, and I think it lost to.
Should have.
Yes, like if the criteria, I don't even know what the criteria is for album of the year. I don't know what people think, but if you just go back, to all the album of the years, you look at you kind of see I see where the criteria is for this just by listening to it. That album alone in Lemonade should have gotten album of the year based off of its content. Because if you go to Taylor Swift's content, each one of her albums is exactly that. with, you know, whatever twist it has on it. Whether you go back to Beck, Adele, you know, Beyonce lost to Adele for album of the year one year, Beck, Taylor Swift, and I want to say it was another one. So I really don't know. I really don't know in this case where
But
it
that's
to
what he
your
was
point,
pointing
Dave.
out.
Yeah,
She's won for so many of her singles
right,
that make up the album,
right,
but yet hasn't won for the album of the year. I'll
right.
explain something else, but I want Earl to go.
Go ahead.
I have a couple of things.
Go ahead.
First, just to go to what you said about Jay-Z. You're saying that's the first time you've ever seen Jay-Z nervous. I actually want to push you there, and I want to say that when you looked at Jay-Z, you couldn't tell that he was nervous. You only knew he was nervous because he said it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There was nothing body language wise that gave off the impression that he was nervous. I've heard Jay-Z speak plenty of times. He wasn't rattling, he wasn't stumbling. He just as cool as he usually is. You only knew he was nervous because he said he was nervous. Second,
He just looked nervous to me, but that's just me.
he ain't seem nervous to me. Second, the award that he got, again, it was bullshit because I felt like they just made that shit. It's a 2-year-old award. uh, I thought it was bullshit. Anyway, the things or the points that Jay-Z were making, all true, all valid. People that got offended, I felt like they got offended because they probably was talking about some of the people or some of those people. That's
You
why
don't
they got
belong in those
offended.
categories.
Right.
True.
When you're talking
True.
about on the flip side of it though, some people could sit up there and say, well, you know what? Even though she didn't win best album of the year, she's the most decorated Grammy Award winner of all time. And some people could look in and say, well, what you complaining for? Like, you have a bunch of
True.
Grammys. You know
True.
what I'm saying?
Very
So
true.
you could look at it from that angle as well. But going back to what he said was very valid. There was a lot of things that he talked about that needs to be brought to the front of the congregation. My thing in terms of voting, right? Again, you can't tell me, and Sean, I don't know if I can say it, but can I talk about your association?
I would not to. I would not. I would
Okay,
not like
all
to.
right. So, all right, whatever. So, you can't tell me that somebody that's listening to this album is listening with an unbiased ear. There's no way in hell that you could tell me that everybody that is voting and listening are listening with unbiased ears. You would have to find people who are unfamiliar with both of these artists, and that is almost impossible. Because when you give somebody this piece of work, the goal is for them to be able to listen and say, you know what?
Right.
It's not that I don't like this genre of music. I don't have any allegiance to the genre of music. I don't care. I'm not listening to the genre. What I'm listening to is the quality of the music. Do I like the melodies? Do I like the words? Do I like the content? Do I like the instrumentation? Like, it's not about, yo, do I like R&B or do I like this artist? And I feel like, yo, when you go into listening to that, it's people that's like, I don't like Beyonce. So right then and there, it's already a notch against it. Or I don't like R&B. Or I don't like the content, this drama shit I don't like that. The same thing for Teller. I don't like pop. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this bubblegum shit. She's not singing. I don't want to hear this shit. So how can I go in and I say, yo, that's actually dope when I'm already going here with biases? That's my thing. The second thing is too. I mean, well, it's not second, it's like the fourth, fifth thing. Um, I just don't like it because again, this is a popularity contest. Like people are getting looked over, and these are people that really put their all into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think about like a PJ Morton, like that Gumbo fucking album, crack. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people like that, and he did get some notoriety and stuff like that. He did win a couple, but it's people like that that I'm like, yo, you're gonna lose out because there's somebody more popular in there that they're gonna get the nod. You know, and you got to think about and listen to everything. And this goes into like Sean, what I was talking about when I said like when musicians listen to music, I think they listen to music differently. Again, I'm not a
Hmm.
musician. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a musician. Have I played a couple of instruments? Yes. But I feel like I listen to music like a musician because I'm not listening to what everybody else is listening to. Like I can hear everything and pinpoint the piano, or I can listen to that shit, but I'm listening strictly to the bass. You understand what I'm saying? Or I'm listening strictly to the drums. You know what I'm saying? So, but everybody's not listening to these songs and things of that nature, you know, with that type of ear. So, this is another reason why I just don't watch the fucking Grammys because it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
So I want to touch on something real quick, and this is one of the things that kind of propelled Jay-Z to say some of the things he said, because
Hmm.
sometimes you just gotta wake people up, as they say.
Right.
So
Right.
Sean, you mentioned it earlier. You know, Taylor Swift had broke the record because she has won 4 Grammys for album of the year with Fearless, 1989, Folklore, and now Midnights. Do you know how many black women have won album of the year, period, in Grammys history? Anybody?
So you got the
How many
first one.
black women have won album of the year?
It's probably either
First one.
0 or 1.
Well, I know the first one was what, Ella Fitzgerald, if I'm correct. I think she was the first to actually
Album of
the
the year.
first black.
No.
Yeah.
Album of the
Actually,
year.
no. Actually, no. This is the
Nope.
first Grammy. I'm mad. She was the first Grammy. That's my bad.
Whitney Houston,
Shit.
maybe, because she was pop.
So the first Grammy Awards was in 1959. The first album of the year going to a black woman was 1992. That was the Natalie Cole album, if you remember.
Mm,
That
yeah.
was the one that dedicated to her father.
So her father.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
2 years later, Earl, you just mentioned it, Whitney
Whitney.
Houston won.
Yeah.
The third one went to
Lauren.
Lauryn Hill
Mm-hmm.
for
Yep.
the
She was the last,
miseducation
and
of
she was
Lauryn Hill.
the last one. She was the
And
last one to
she
actually
was the
win.
last one
She was the
25
last
years
one.
ago.
Right. She was the last one.
You're telling me our black sisters putting out these albums, nobody,
I
nobody.
mean, I mean, well, okay. All right. So we put it that way.
Yep,
If we put it that way, let me be honest with you.
I want you to be.
All right. When I look at Lauryn Hill,
Yep,
that album transcended
it was
across.
life changing.
Yes,
Yeah. It was a
It
it's a
wasn't.
masterpiece.
It transcended
Hmm.
outside of R&B,
Yep.
outside of hip hop. It transcended across uh different age groups, across different
Hmm.
genders. Like that one, that one is different. And
Right.
if I'm using that as the metric for where everything else should be, then I'm like, okay, I can understand because I haven't heard an album since then.
But take the black out of it. You gotta
No,
have
no,
a
no, I
winner.
know, no, no, I
So
hear
that
you,
means you're
I hear you.
comparing all of Taylor's albums to it.
No, and then when I look at, but no, okay, so watch this. I
Hmm.
go to Whitney Houston, right?
Yep.
Dynamic voice,
Hmm.
great songs, ballad queen. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, and she has some great ass writers. When I look at that, she was a pop. Pop is everything. You know what I'm saying? That's R&B, rap, pop. You know everything, right?
Hmm.
She actually was getting more hate from her own people because it was too pop.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
remember that.
saying? So, but regardless, she was appealing to a broad audience. I felt like with Taylor Swift, she was kind of more compared in that comparison because I felt like her base or her audience is very very wide. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Where Beyonce, she has a huge audience, but Beyonce you're only targeting women. I'm not even gonna say black women, but mostly women of color, right? Gay people, gay guys, and that's it. You're not touching on any males like that. You know what I'm saying? And if the males do like it, it's one of them. It's one of them. I could bump this in my car. I'm gonna roll my windows up, but I'm a bumper. But you don't, you don't appeal to me. You understand what I'm saying?
I
Whereas
see what you did there.
maybe Taylor Swift, she appeals like it's women and dudes that like her shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me saying that her shit is
A lot
better.
of Travis Kelce's out there.
Yeah, it's not me saying that her shit is better, but it's just in terms of
Nah, that's why I'm asking. I wanted to
like
just see your
it's
opinion
just
on
I
it.
feel like it's just
Right.
her music or she has more influence in my opinion.
Right.
And she
Oh,
could
she
reach
definitely
more
has the influence.
she could reach
Yeah.
more people. And then it doesn't hurt that again, now she's attached to this football shit with Travis Kelce growing the popularity. They
Hey,
saying
you know
how
what? I know this is bearing off, but just because you brought him up, do you think he should have been there for
I
all the
heard he
things that
was.
she's been at?
I heard he was. So
You're
so
talking a
if he
week before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
no,
And
It's
no
right there.
Sunday.
It's right there in LA, and the Super Bowl's in Vegas.
Vegas.
so if I'm his teammate, if you're at the Grammys when we about to go play the Super Bowl, like get the fuck out of here. That's the type of time I'm on. And then if I'm a fan,
Okay.
because most football fans don't give a fuck about the Grammys. You understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
because
So
it hits us for the Odell
yeah,
yacht joint.
Yeah,
So
I think he's
right.
trying to. Yeah, I think he's to your point. I think
So
he's not trying to go Hollywood. So if he had been there, I
so
think it would have been a
he
bad look.
he made
Yeah,
the right
yeah,
he made the right
That's why I'm
decision.
asking.
Now
yeah.
I did hear that he was in the vicinity, but he made the right business decision by not
Yeah.
making
Not being
like
there.
someone. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, because
because
he would have got criticized.
now, well, he would have got criticized because the game
Yeah, he
hasn't
would
been
have got
played yet.
criticized.
If they go play Sunday and he play like ass, then we know that
No, it don't
it's
matter. He could have played.
that's
He
gonna be
could have played the game in.
comparable to
He
you
could have
being
played the
on a
game
boat
in. No, he could have
with
played the
Tim's
game in
on
his
and no
life.
shirts.
He could have played the game in his life. If they lose, they're gonna be like, "Oh well, he wanted to be at the Grammys with
No,
Taylor
that's what I'm
Swift,"
saying. That's what I'm saying.
and then
Yeah,
people are gonna start hating Taylor Swift too, because they're like, "Yo, because of this
He cost us a
bullshit."
Super Bowl.
no,
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying though. I said that would be the comparable to Trey Songz inviting him out onto that boat. Right before the playoff game,
Oh,
everybody got shirts in there, Tim's on and stuff like that. Either way, it was a bad look. Either way, it's bad. So the big game is right around the corner, and you realize you have more guests than your actual RSVP count. That's where Instacart comes in, North America's largest online grocery marketplace. From your favorite food needs, alcohol, office supplies, and more, just in case you need some decorations, something like that. Instacart will connect you with a personal shopper in your area to shop and deliver your order and stay completely safe with their contactless delivery with their leave it at my door option. To receive a free delivery on your first order over $35, just follow the link in the show notes to let them know the Hot Seed podcast sent you. Instacart, so you don't have to go to the store. Yes, this is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean, Earl, Dave. Episode 138. We know we went a little long on the Grammy review. We knew that was gonna happen. There's a lot going on there, and it's it's something that only comes out once a year, but it strikes a chord like nothing else every single year. I don't care how often we talk about it. Every year, the Grammys are a big discussion. But let's go into some other stuff. There's something more important, in my opinion. We are
Damn
6
right.
days in now, and we still haven't talked about anything from Black History Month. And unlike many of those who don't believe Black History Month is that important, it's still very important to us, to say the least. For those who don't, I guess in this new generation who aren't getting the same type of tutelage and education on Black History Month that we got, whether it's Black History Month plays and social studies and different book reports and stuff in schools. You might want to know that Black History Month first started as Negro Recognition Week back in 1926, if I'm correct. It at the time it coincided with the birthday of one Abraham Lincoln, and I'm gonna look it up real quick. It was somebody else in that time frame, and I completely forgot who the second person was.
And I
But
know
while I'm
Mega Sci Fi was influential in getting Black History, turning that week into a month.
yes,
So,
yes,
Black
it
History
was.
fact that y'all probably didn't know about.
I love it. I love it.
But
Um,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I feel like cut
no,
you off.
no. What was interesting about it, something that struck a chord, and I knew at the time, you're working with what you got. Mind you, 1926. My grandmother right now is 84 years old, and that will
My
put
grandmother
her.
was 1 years old in 26.
Yeah, just I think she might just be just outside of that. My math is off real quick, but the Negro Appreciation Week. I know at the time that's what it started off as, but it just reminded me because we talked about it last week, and I had to I knew what it was, and I'm watching the Greatest Night in
Negro
Pop.
Appreciation Week.
The that was actually about a black person
Yeah.
who actually started it, by the way.
Ain't that something?
But I'm thinking about the best, what was it, the best black single at the AMAs, Dave.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it made so maybe as soon as I read that, I was like, Negro Appreciation Week. Oh, so this over
Mm-hmm.
is a week, and now we get the best black single of the year or something like that. I'm like, bruh,
When we had
bruh.
this, all the music is black music. You hear what the fuck I'm saying? All of music is black, but the best black singer. So anyway, I'm about to get upset. So I don't know if y'all watch TV,
Carter
right?
G. Woodson. There
Mm-hmm.
you go. That's his name. Who
Yeah.
started. But yeah, go.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all watch TV, and you know what Black History is kind of turning into in terms of the marketing, like the disrespect that it's turning into. It's kind of on the same lines as Father's Day. When I was coming up, and I mean, y'all should remember this. I feel like there was more commercials
Oh yeah.
um, for Black History. You saw McDonald's, even McDonald's pandering and doing stuff for Black History and stuff like that. You know,
Calvin.
yeah, it was just more things. It was more Black shows on TV,
Right.
and uh they were doing episodes around Black history and things in that nature. You know what I'm saying? From Family Matters to Rock to Martin, like to Cosby shows, different, like all of these different shows, and they had some iconic episodes
Right.
around the topic, right? But now it's like, what are those Black sitcoms at? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the shows that every day or every week we're tuning in to watch? You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have that anymore. To the point where like I'm literally walking down the hall.
That's one you had was Blackish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or now Abbott Elementary. But now it's like
Oh yeah, but yeah.
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 Or like but now I'm walking down the hall and I'm talking just randomly to some first graders. And while they're coloring Dr. Martin Luther King, while they have a poster up of Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman and stuff like that, not
Mm-hmm.
one of them could tell me who those people were. Not
Wow.
one of
But
them could tell me what Black history is. And that's the piece for me that I'm just like, yo, it's just like we just doing it to do it, but
But you
kids are
know
not
what?
learning.
I just want to touch on this, Earl. Some things, especially our history, we can't put to somebody else to do.
No,
mm,
no,
You know what I mean?
I get it. But
That's something inside our house, inside our community, where we need
I
to
agree.
mhm.
push that to them.
But what I'm saying is
They don't want you to know that shit.
these
Hell
are
no.
what I'm also communicating is that these are our people that still
No, I understand.
not being intentional with how, especially with the young ones, but not being intentional in how they are teaching it because I don't expect them to know unless they're taught. You understand what I'm saying? But then also too, what's going on in your household? Like yo,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
dead ass. Like my mother had, and I gotta see if she still got it because I want to take them off her hands. She had an encyclopedia, a whole collection, maybe about 40 volumes of Black history. And when I tell you that this sister made me and my sister go and read those books, you know what I'm saying? So it's like after your homework, yo, go pick a book.
Yeah, I know where
And
you
we
come
would
from.
look through them volumes and
Mm-hmm.
things in that nature. Like, or I would get the talks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandmother or my grandfather would school me on some my mom would school me on certain things. You know what I'm saying? And because honestly speaking, we wasn't that far removed from the civil rights. You know, that
No,
was
I
what
hear you.
Right,
coming
right.
up. That was what 30 years before, you know,
Right now.
20, 30 years before. Well, when I would say from when I was born, that was 20 years, maybe less than that. You
Still
know,
going on.
so and it's still
But
going on. So
this is where there's a you said a couple of things that is why Black History Month has been relegated to the type of energy that you get for Father's Day. It's been diminished in a lot of ways because as soon as we talk about Black History Month, you ever notice, and I get it, you want to pay homage to those who who led us here. But you ever always know they always name the same folks from
Yep.
back in the day. It's
yeah,
always Dr. Martin Luther King. It
yeah.
always Harriet Tubman. It's Malcolm X. You
Like
might
it
say
ain't
George
George
Washington
nobody.
Washington
Carver.
Carver. Hey,
Yeah.
no, the
Mm-hmm.
same people, but I've been coloring since damn second grade on that little cutout thing. That ass.
Mm-hmm.
They don't name
Who fault is
nobody
that?
else.
Who fault is that?
And it's a combination. It's a combination because it got to a point to where that I have a dream speech start becoming I have a nightmare. And what I mean by that is it became a nightmare when you found yourself working 50 to 60 hours a week and you're still having to decide between eating and keeping the lights on. And it got to a point to where now, hey, I got to go do more work here. So I'm leaving my kids to be, the communities got broken up because people couldn't afford to live there and stuff like that. People started dying off. The OGs, families start breaking up. And now all of a sudden, fast forward to 2020, after everything that we were taught, that we sang about, that we appreciated in our youth, and we watched a Black man live get killed by a white cop. So, in the eyes of a young Black person, they look at all of us and those before us was like, hey, y'all did all that. And again, let's not say they're right. I'm just saying, y'all did all that marching. Y'all did all this, you know, right hand up into the air, this, that, and the other, teaching, prophesizing. And we just watched one of our own just get killed like it was nothing. So it's the disconnect is actually really is on us at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. No matter what, you can't. There's always a reason, and then if there's enough reasons, they're going to add up to excuses at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day. I've heard
I
on my own mouth. It was like, look, man, I ain't got time for all that. My Black brother this and this, that, and the other. Uncle Tom Tyson, like, hey, I got to make my bread so I can live. And I can't fault them because the connections between the community ain't there. We always go back to this. You go into a Jewish community, you go into an Asian community, ain't none of that going down. We've been fractured in such a way to where we can literally watch politicians go in and say, hey, we're going to remove your history from our schools
but you know why?
and
You
not
know
have no
why there's
pushback on it.
you know why there's less fight? Because there's a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
I
just what I
think
said. Yeah.
yeah, I mean I think about the N word, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
about the N word, right? And we all have grandparents, right? Our grandparents came up through the civil rights and before that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when you say the N word, like I would never dare say that N word around my grandmother. I wouldn't say around my mother and them because that hits different because they lived through a time
Mm-hmm.
where that word was, I mean, it's always derogatory, but when they might have experienced that word being used against them or towards them, you know, by somebody of another color. Whereas our generation, you know what I'm saying, we didn't really have to deal with that. Maybe depending on where you're from geographically, you might have seen some of
Mm-hmm.
the remnants of it, but we didn't have to deal with it, especially if you was up top. Now, think about this generation. Absolutely not. They don't have to deal with this at all. You know what I'm saying? If anything, now they're calling one another N word, but they don't know the feeling of somebody from a different race. So
I'm gonna
I
stop
say
it right
all
there,
that.
Earl. I'm gonna stop you that right there. The rap album of the year was just won by Killer Mike. I don't know if you listened to that Michael album or not
I
in its
listened to the whole
totality.
album. I listened to the
There
whole
was so
album.
many, N words in that from track 1 all the way through. So it's almost like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like it's one of those things where I the N word conversation has gotten old to me
Mm.
because now it's become so I understand for the OGs. Like again, my grandmother's 84, and we can talk about that, but I've heard her say it too. But now it's become a case where it's used in a place, so whether it's used as an adjective, something like whatever case, I'm not gonna try to defend it. But when it comes down, what I've seen is for that Black history aspect is we now have got to the point to where we are not willing to either listen or to be educated by anybody who's in the know to actually improve our situation.
But see, my
If you look,
thing is, we can use it, right? We'll use it, right?
yeah,
But we understand that it was derogatory.
yeah,
Kids use it, and they don't realize and understand like that was derogatory. Like that was a word used to degrade people that look like you.
and that goes
So
to the education part,
we'll at least have some respect and be like,
right,
you know what? With a person of a certain age, I'm not using that around them. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right,
honestly speaking, they're not gonna hear me say that uh, anybody around that age in their vicinity. I'll talk to
right.
y'all. I might say that to y'all, and then even still, I should even try to find. You know, I still have stipulations. Like I'm damn sure not about to say it around other people. But if it's just me, you, and we in the room together, and I'm talking and shooting the shit, then it might slip out. But I'm talking to y'all as barbershop.
Gotcha,
But I'm not about to go outside and hear young people of other colors hear me because then my thing is that I don't want you to get an impression to think that because I'm using it, it's okay. You
gotcha.
know what I'm saying?
What what you got, Dave? What you got?
No, I mean,
Even
I
though,
kind of already said it. It was more to the sense, even getting off the N word part of it, just the history in general. Like I've always told y'all, my biggest history book were the people I grew up around.
Right.
You know, and
right, right,
I grew up
absolutely,
around older
absolutely.
souls. So, you know, do I want to open up a book that was written by a person that may not even be black, be from
Mm-hmm.
our culture, telling us about our
Right.
culture, which is the
Well, ain't
weirdest
that
thing I've ever
something?
seen in my life.
No, it's foul.
And that's what we're reading in school. Or do I want to sit back and look at my great grandmother and grandfather at the time because they were alive during that time, during
Mm-hmm.
the time period of me being raised, and my grandparents and everybody else like that, and asking about what happened during those time periods. I'm going to get the real from them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get the unfiltered conversation from them. So that's why I say I put it more of the onus on us than anything else. You know what I mean? Because if I wait for a school system to do it, they may do it and do it wrong. And I still got to follow up behind. Like
And it ain't gonna be
Cam
realistic either.
already wrote a report that had nothing to do with school. He's already written it. And it's sitting on our fridge. He's already written it. You know, he watches certain shows that some people may sit back and go, "Oh, I don't know. How old is he? Don't worry about it. He knows right from wrong. Don't worry about it."
Mm-hmm.
Because I want him to watch certain things so he's not out there and don't know
Right,
that these things exist. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
right.
We were shooting the shit, me and Earl. I was telling her, I was like, yo, I let him see a couple episodes of the Boondocks, and it blew his mind. And you know, people from the outside looking in, like, man, that ain't about nothing. Through the jokes, that's a real ass
It
show.
is. It is.
Right.
But you just ain't ready for that realness. So once you're able to have that conversation with your peoples, with your kids and stuff like that, that's when you know. Would you rather have them prepared for what they're gonna see anyway, or would you like them to just walk out there into the world and go, "Oh yeah, I've been in this cocoon all my life," and then all of a sudden, hold on, what's this? What's this? No,
Yeah.
you're gonna meet the world one way or another. I
But I
want to
think
prepare you for it. That's my
to
job.
piggyback off of Dave, like I agree where parents got to hold the responsibility of not shielding their kids from these things because at the end of the day, like Dave said,
They're gonna
you're
see it
gonna
anyway,
experience. You're gonna
Right.
experience. Like a perfect
and they're gonna
example.
experience their time without you being there.
Right.
Exactly.
And I remember a perfect example, and this is and no disrespect, Sean. Like this is why I have an issue with Virginia. This is why I have
Oh,
an
I'm about to
issue
say,
with
wait a minute, disrespect.
down
Hold on, no
south.
disrespect, but I'm
No,
about to disrespect you,
it's
sir.
no, it's not.
Your
It's
music
I'm
not.
about
ain't
to
shit.
I'm
It's
about to
not
come see you
because
real
I'm
quick,
talking.
sir.
No, y'all claiming something that don't belong to y'all. Like we all do. What I'm saying is, like when I was younger, I remember my father and actually my grandmother told me this story. My father didn't even tell me this story. My grandmother was like, "Look, my dad was born in Brooklyn, right? His father was born in Brooklyn. My grandfather was in the military, so he ended up going to Norfolk. So part of his life, he was raised in Norfolk.
Mm-hmm.
But because you talking about my dad was born in '48, he was growing up in there around the '50s. You know what that looked like. Well,
Oh
you
yeah, absolutely.
imagine what that looked like
Yeah,
around
yeah,
in the '50s
yeah.
in the Commonwealth
Right.
in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? To the point where he was like, "Yo, that he couldn't use the bathroom. In in the school, he had to go to the outhouse in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dealt with other racism. You know what I'm saying within Virginia to the point where my grandmother, who was Cuban, which this was like a bit of a difference for her in a sense. She was like, yo, and that's her oldest. She was like, I don't want him to have to experience that. So
Right.
she sent him back to New York to live with his grandmother, you know what I'm saying, in Brooklyn. So I say all that to say, like, you know, my perspective of these things was different because like Dave was saying, like, I've had people that witnessed that was close to me that gone through it and got to hear their firsthand accounts of the situation. So what I'm
Right.
reading in the books, they're good, but I'm also getting an account of people who is there. You know what I'm saying? And that's priceless. That's just like if somebody like when kids are sitting up here or we having a conversation and we talk about 9/11. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, my perspective of 9/11 is going to be different from a lot of people because like
Right.
I was downtown. Like
Right.
I saw the smoke, I saw the chaos. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have a story to tell about that compared to somebody that was in Maryland. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that because they got a different story. They got a
Mm-hmm.
story about what happened at the Pentagon. You know what I'm saying? Or compared to somebody that was down in South Carolina or something like that. But we
Right.
was there, so we have a different account. And I just to wrap all of this up, I really urge parents to really start bringing up and talking about our culture and not just relegating it just to February, but this should
Yep.
be a thing that we do because like these kids need to know where they came from. And I really feel like it will alter how they move out here in these streets
Uh,
because they don't care about themselves.
to what you said, Earl, and then and then we can wrap it up from here. And you said it, and I was trying not to outside. So the biggest thing that we can do, and this is going to be even before this is for the next generation and for those who are alive now who are able to change that narrative. Our story can only be verbalized and written by us.
You got that
You
right.
every February, you see corporations, they do their they do their quote unquote due diligence to get all of the Black history facts of the month, and they probably sent out this corporate email and to try to spotlight Black history for the month. And more times than not, they miss the mark. And I've been privy to those type of things to where company sends out an email and the person, they probably, they themselves, knowing them, they mean no harm.
Mhm.
But what they send out, it doesn't register to them that the imagery
They trying too
and the
hard.
message they're putting out is, it doesn't reflect who we are as Black people.
Mhm.
And typically it usually starts always one way. Now it's even now, since we're in 2024 and now it's become a thing, you might get some imagery of of a young Black person with his pants around his ankles. Then you might get something, of course you're gonna get something about Dr. Martin Luther King.
Of
Then you're
course.
gonna get something about slavery or something like that. That is what people outside of the Black community and the Black race, that's all they know. And it has gotten to a point to where we have just handed over our entire ancestry to these people who don't know nothing about us and allow them to write our history.
But with,
So,
with with media places, like we also don't own a lot of media spaces to
no,
where
no,
we can
no.
control them.
It doesn't. No, it's not even about media. It's about your day to day. This is your day to day. You can go to any company today, and I guarantee you, on Black History Month, they do it for Native American History Month too. They do it for Hispanic Heritage Month as well. But the one that hits is Black History Month. They go over the top by saying, "Hey, we want to spotlight those from Black history set up for this." And we still talking about Dr. Martin Luther King. There's no disrespect, but we still talk about him. We still talking about Harriet Tubman. We still talking about these people. We're not talking about, hell, it's so crazy. They don't even talk about Barack Obama, and they forget that even happened. Like, they don't even talk about that happening, and that was just really 15 years ago
Yeah. Well, I mean,
at all.
they tell you the stuff they want you to know. Like
And
I
we
get
make a
pissed
joke
off
about it
at.
all the time. I say, and I said it's funny, but there's truth to it. You see, the slave films always come out around Christmas. And I challenge anybody to go do their history, because I don't just say it just for it's for a laugh. It's always something within that. And that's what I mean. Like, that narrative, if we wanted to change for our kids, you have to make sure that you're push back on that. And you can't be silent about that stuff, man. You can't.
I mean, I love those movies, but like, there's more to us than
Do it on
slaves and
Do it
things.
on 4th of July then. Do it on 4th of
Yeah.
July.
Nah, not even that. Just do other movies. Like, I mean, that's why you only know about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You only know about. It's like they always talk about the same HBCUs, freaking Howard, Morgan. I mean, not Morgan. Howard, Hampton, and things. They don't realize there's over 100 HBCUs, but they talk about the same shit. But
And,
that's why, again, I agree when you say like we have to be the ones that control our narrative.
and
Because if
now
we let them do it,
they didn't pick Morgan Freeman as our Black, head of the house. This is the Hot Tea Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, episode 138. Let's pivot a little bit to some other places, something that these two guys can speak to. Is this a not so breaking news? We can go to not so breaking news. Y'all want some not so breaking news? Let's go.
Not so breaking news.
So I saw within the last couple of days that so we are all fans. Well, at least two of us are, because I don't know Earl, because Earl don't like nothing. Fans of the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. And if y'all didn't know
it's
that
coming to Jersey.
the 2026 World Cup final is coming to MetLife Stadium. And you know what,
All
though?
of them to get broken ankles.
And you know what? I'm glad you know what? I'm glad you said that.
Yep, that's about right. That's
Man,
about
listen.
right.
I saw that shit. I was like,
I am not
MetLife
playing
who?
that.
Bruh, listen. First of all, the World Cup final is coming to New York City. Bro, I have been to
No.
Jersey.
No.
It's coming to
coming
Jersey.
Well, Jersey. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
it's come to
Keep up,
MetLife.
man.
Come to MetLife.
Stop doing that.
It don't even really matter, bro. The
Yes,
World
it
Cup
do.
is coming
Yes,
to
it
that
do.
area.
New Jersey,
I know
not New
logistically
York.
the New Jersey, New York, that area, they're probably the best in the world at, logistically handling all the stuff around. But bruh, the World Cup final coming to MetLife, which has been home to some of the worst ACL, PCL, MCL, BBL injuries of the last several NFL.
Yo, stop
That's gonna
showing
be
that.
the
That shit
first
is
slide.
triggering,
That's
bro.
gonna be the first slide that they're gonna have on that raggedy ass turf out there.
It's how Earl looked when he was strolling.
Yes, that's what I said. That shit is triggering,
Shit.
bro. Stop showing that shit.
Man, I don't. What you guys say? I mean, for real though. But I'm going to storyteller first, man, because I know he's our resident, footballer, man. How you feel when you heard that announcement, bro?
I mean, I'm happy it's back in the country, period, and on this side.
Right.
The only thing that I would check it's always about when you bring those type of things in certain areas, it's
Right.
that commute, because
Yes, man.
we love our football and stuff, but football for these people that are coming
It's
internationally,
different. That's different.
it is different. You
It
thought
is
you
different,
saw
indeed.
something when you see a game, it ain't man.
Yeah.
So some of these areas are set up where there's so much stuff around it. I don't know
Yes.
all the things that they built up around MetLife. Earl will probably tell you better than that. Then besides that
American
mall
Dream.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you go to some of these places and everything's in walking distance. Like you have a whole party for the whole day.
That's not that
MetLife,
even. That ain't that even.
it's a little
Swamp land.
different.
Swamp land.
So here's my question.
So
How
Go
many?
ahead, Earl.
How many?
Oh.
What's the capacity for MetLife?
about 90.
Is it okay? Because I went to when I was in Qatar, I went to the stadium out there, and I think that holds around about 90,000, but it felt more like 100,000 people in there. I've been to a
They
couple
probably
of
did have 100
international,
in it.
right, bruh, and
So
eesh.
I mean, I look at it from a different angle. I mean, can they handle the traffic? I mean, yeah, it's still gonna be traffic, but there's so many where MetLife is at.
Yeah.
It's like nothing but highways, right?
Mhm.
So that's good. But it's still gonna be traffic.
Mhm.
I think the other thing I look at it is because this is my home state, it is going to
Mhm.
bring revenue to the state, and
Yep.
it's going to provide opportunities and jobs. If y'all think about it, remember the Super Bowl was here one year,
Mhm.
and I remember
Yeah.
that because that brought
Right before
mad
that
jobs.
storm. Right before
That
the
brought
storm became too
that
after that.
brought
Yeah.
mad jobs and opportunities for people in the area and surrounding areas. Also too, what else would keep in mind now it wasn't at MetLife, but remember they have the what's the tennis what's the tennis match? The
Oh, you're
US
talking about the
Open.
Open.
They
Yeah.
have the US Open
Yeah.
every
U.S. Open there.
year
Yeah.
in Queens. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So where you get a bunch of different,
Yep.
so
All around the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so the area is not it's not
But you know
nothing
what?
new to them.
Let me piggyback on what you're saying, and actually something that Sean said, and this is all jokes aside. Do you realize how many people are coming over and think the same thing as a joke that you said as far as New York? And they're thinking that they're
Oh,
staying in
they
New
gonna be
York
able,
and
nah,
then trying to get
nah,
like it's
nah,
gonna be they're like, oh
nah.
yeah, we get to go visit these are
Yeah.
Nah.
But you
Nah.
but the crazy thing is so many because I mean for those who don't know, MetLife is over swamplands. Like you have to
Mhm.
drive
Uh-huh.
to get to anywhere of any decency. Now, yeah, New York ain't that far.
Right.
I forget the
The
bridge
line
that's
that
I think
goes there.
the George Washington or the Lincoln. I forget one of them that's right there by the mall. I mean by the arena or whatever, or the stadium. But yeah, to Dave's point, yeah, they're gonna get a rude awakening. But what I will say, whoever is in that finals is also going to dictate the environment. Because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna tell you
absolutely,
like this:
absolutely,
if
yeah.
anybody from like
It's George
Mexico,
Washington.
Portugal, George Washington, thank
Mhm.
you, Mexico, Portugal, or anything, let me tell you something. That shit is gonna be rocking because I can tell you right now. Remember that Jersey got a lot of Hispanics.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Jersey has a lot of Hispanics. So does New York. Has a lot of Hispanics. And I didn't even realize that until my cousin was like broke that down because he was like, you go to DC, he was like, yo, you don't see it in the volumes that you see it up here that's all you see. You know what I'm saying? But if Mexico or Portugal is in that final, down neck, the whole down neck gonna be over there. Like when I tell you that shit gonna be flooded, bro. So it all
that's
depends
what I'm
on
saying. Not even in the game, just
no, it just
Yeah,
bruh. You don't understand.
you'll
You
be out.
don't understand.
uh,
What you got for your not so breaking news day?
all right. So I don't know if y'all probably already know, being Apple people that you are, that
Yeah.
y'all just pushed out the Vision Pro, the
Yeah.
Yep,
3500 Vision Pros.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
yep.
know
Yeah.
Earl was talking about it. Yeah, it sounds great.
Yes. How much they cost?
$3,500. $3,500.
Nah,
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
go
say
ahead,
3500.
that.
Earl. Go
They
ahead,
are gonna
3500.
Earl.
come down.
Get,
They're gonna
get your
come
B
down.
on. Go ahead. Go
They're
ahead,
gonna come
Earl.
No
down. It's gonna
breaking
come down.
news.
Yep.
Well, with that, people are already out there recording videos, and one person was caught in a Tesla videotaping himself having a automated mode on the Tesla going while he had the Vision Pros on, posted it up on what used to be called Twitter, now X.
Actually, yep.
And I think it was like a 30-second video or whatever. And he posted up on X in a Tesla, mind you. X is now owned by Elon Musk. Put it all together. To later on record a video of him being arrested because it got posted. They saw it and they arrested him.
Wait,
So
I'm sorry. What was he doing?
He
he
was
was
using
in the
the Apple
Tesla.
Vision Pro. Yeah,
It was doing the
self-driving.
automatic driving. Yeah, the driving in that sense. And he
Uh,
had the Vision Pros
oh,
on, operating that while he was
while he
recording
was driving.
himself and posted it on X. Total failure.
Mind you, they just
So,
did a recall on that, on some of those, on a lot of all the Teslas
Oh, the
because of the whole
Tesla's good.
self-driving. Yeah, they did a
so
whole.
So number one, are y'all getting y'all Vision Pros for 3,500? And then
No.
Nah.
secondly, are you waiting to get behind a Tesla and driving that sub mode and throwing your Vision
Well,
Pros, or walk
we had
around
a
the city with your Vision Pros on and not know where you're going?
we had a conversation about the Teslas, and I said like one of the things because I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, yo, I felt like my next car was gonna be electric. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
Wiggy,
what
wiggy,
kind of
wiggy.
what kind of
That was
what
good.
kind of
That was good.
deterred me a little bit was when me and Dave was talking. We was like, well, it seems that Tesla stock has been dropping because one of the
Yep.
problems has been when it's getting cold,
Cold. Yep.
people like
Mm-hmm.
the electric cars not starting. Now to go back to that Vision Pro, I actually seen a video maybe like a week or so ago, and
Mm-hmm.
I knew they was coming. I knew they was coming because they also got
Mhm.
these glasses coming out and this toothbrush, but whatever. I
Right.
know it's coming. What I like about it is that you can have these Vision Pros on or whatever they call, but you can have like you can FaceTime, like you're talking, you can see that person, like
Right.
it's dope.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I do like about it too is that you don't have to take it off to be able to see your surroundings. Like you
Yep.
can still focus and see your surroundings. You can uh, go on online and things of that nature. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty dope. But you know, anything that's new and innovative, especially with Apple, it's always a crazy price that that they always start with. But at some point, it's going to go down. It'll get down to a reasonable price. It's still going to be expensive, but it'll get down there. And then by the
Oh
time
yeah. I mean, we
by the
buying
time it
phones for
goes down,
2,000. I mean,
right?
Right.
And by the
Right.
time it goes down, that's gonna be the old model. It's gonna be a new version now.
Yeah.
You
They
know.
showed a guy who was on the sideline at one of the NBA games with a pair on, which was he was standing up courtside with a pair on. I'm like, bro, look, I love
Well,
my technology, but like
well,
I kind of draw my line
even
somewhere.
with the VR, with the old VR, because I have one of those.
yeah, you could be courtside.
You could be courtside and you could literally just sitting next to a real person and you could
Yeah.
see the game. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
First of all, First of all, my whole situation ain't gonna work out for me
Well,
anyway. So if I
yeah,
can't play Call of Duty, so
yeah,
I'll be damned if I buy some glasses. My
yeah,
ass be blowing chunks every goddamn way. But like, nope,
yeah.
nope, that's just not it's not working for
But
me,
you know
sir.
what,
Nope.
Sean? You know what, Sean? I'm pretty sure that they have thought about them because you're not the only one that deals with that, and I'm pretty sure that with technology, I can imagine that they'll find a way to mitigate that issue.
Yeah, I can't do it. First of all,
Mitigate.
you
I like it.
yeah, I just
He ain't throwing a big word yet, so I was
I
like,
did.
yeah.
I
like
love it. I love it, man. This is
Hey,
we can well go ahead. Go ahead.
hey, real quick. I know we're about to end, but I got one more not so breaking news because this is
Not so breaking
dear to
news.
my heart. Being here in the
Okay.
DMV right
Mm-hmm.
now, they are causing a movement for it's the beer and wine movement to be sold in the supermarkets finally.
I
So I
love
don't
it.
know if you heard about it.
Y'all
They're
didn't have
pushing
that
it
already?
along. We do not have that, my brother. If I go to Costco for liquor, I got to go to
Not in
DC.
Maryland. Yeah, not
You
in
No, I'm
know,
Maryland.
about to say DC. Oh, Maryland.
So, yeah,
Okay.
DC,
yeah, Maryland. Yeah.
Oh,
Maryland.
okay. I'm about to say
So
I went to
shout out to my
Maryland.
man Westmore. I know you had something to do with
Yeah, West for
it.
president, yo.
It's the priorities, man. It's the priority.
West for
I
president, man.
I love it, man. This isn't not so breaking news, but we can kind of tie this into I guess a video game corner before we get out of here. I guess
All right.
and that will just be off of I guess that nothing wants to work how it's supposed to work in the gauge because there's supposed to be a transition. So did you guys see the new courts that they're going to be using for this year's All-Star game? Did y'all see that at all? So
No.
Man, fuck the NBA All Star. Like, fuck all these All
Mm.
Stars. No,
is the NBA
no.
LED court that they
Oh
will
my
be
god.
using for the celebrity game as well as the Saturday night festivities. Um,
What is it? So they're going to be in a video game, or
no,
it's
no, no,
giving
no.
off
That
that?
the court is glass. They're actually going to be playing over the glass. Well, they'll be like playing over the glass. So they're not going to do it for the All-Star game on Sunday, but for the celebrity game and for the Saturday night, whatever is
So they
responsible,
gonna
whoever
so they gonna do that while they're wearing Vision Pros.
Somebody gonna hurt themselves.
Oh man, it's crazy. I saw this man, and I was like,
Somebody gonna hurt themselves.
they legit then brung, the NBA they didn't went 2K, so the NBA unveiled their state of the art LED court for All Star 2024 at Lucas Oil Stadium, which is in Indianapolis this year. So the NBA today unveiled the state of the art
Oh,
full
they
of
putting a
LED
court
court.
in there.
Yeah, that's the whole course. So it's developed by
Oh, okay.
ASB Glass Floor that will be used for the All-Star 2024 events taking place, which includes the Ruffles NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, the State Farm All-Star Saturday Night, consisting of the skills challenge, three-point contest, and a slam dunk contest, as well as a WNBA three-point challenge. So it's gonna be dope, man. So the design and color changes, live replays, and video content, real-time game stats, um, location-based player tracking, animation, interactive games for fans doing timeouts. Pretty wild, man. So they're gonna be doing it all over the court, which is pretty dope. I think I saw this. They were presenting this, I think, during the college season. If y'all saw, like, they were showing like stats and stuff doing on players and stuff like that. I think I saw I think they even did this on CBS at one point. So they're kind of making this thing more interactive. So if you're at home, but even more in the stadium, because we've all been to stadium games outside of the crowd, the stadium experience is kind of stale sometimes for the most part, because you don't hear the commentators, you don't hear nothing like that. So this way is for them to be more, keep the crowd more entertained compared to what we see at home. So I guess it's gonna be pretty dope. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how much it costs. I was trying to get a cost on this glass, but I guess they were spraying no expense at this point. That's just what they're doing. I guess, yeah. This is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, episode 138. We went a little long-winded today, but of course we're just gonna get about it here. Of course, this podcast wouldn't be what it is if we hadn't taken our Xbox Live conversation and bring it over to the podcast space. So as always, you can actually find us on Xbox Live, the chat, play some games and such. You can find me at Sinat2X. Find me right now, Suicide Squad. It's a multiplayer game online thing. I will be giving my take during a hot take itself. I won't spoil it here. or just give it away here all willy-nilly. I will say, as I have not read any reviews at all, I give this game a very high rating. I will go into that a little bit more. I know there's been some others to say other things there, but I think that game is pretty superb, to say the least. So you can find me there. Of course, you can find me in Madden. We're playing there as well. I do have some new information. We'll be y'all later, but I think I saw something. EA Sports, they are looking to drop NCAA football July 12th or something like that. So we'll get more information coming off of that as well. But Sanatu X, man, on Xbox. Dave, what you got?
All right, the Storyteller, really rocking on the zombies right now. Modern Warfare 3, it's gotten a lot better. Outside of video gaming, finished watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime Video. I liked it.
Okay.
It was pretty interesting. I'll just put it that way. Wait for my whole review on it. Looking forward to X-Men 97 for Marvel. I believe that's supposed to be coming out sometime in March, I believe. The animated series.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big push on, if you haven't heard, John David Washington may be playing the next Kang for the recast. If you don't know who that is, that's Denzel Washington's son.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever watch Ballers and stuff like that. And then by the time this premieres tomorrow, also the Marvels will be premiering on Disney Plus. So if you haven't seen it yet,
correct.
go out there and jump out and check that out. We'll have more stuff, but that's all for now.
Yep. What you got, Earl?
J Fat Boy 973.
Of course, man, join us this Sunday at 9:30 a.m. live on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and IG Live. For the Football
Watch how
Talk
we
Live
drafting the Giants.
pre-game show. We're going to be talking everything Super Bowl predictions. I don't know what's happening with him right now.
I have no idea, man.
We're going to be in and out the year. Unfortunately, this will be the last thing that we do before we do our epic HOTSEED podcast, NFL Watch podcast or Watchcast in April. But yeah, we're going to be a little bit depressed after Sunday because ain't no football for several months, man, to say the least, man. We appreciate you guys happening in. And of course, on the way, those dope exclusive merch from the HOTSEED podcast. We got it in the black, got it in the gray. That's what Mike's Gamers with headsets and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. And then if you haven't already, make sure you go in and subscribe to the new HOTSEED Podcast Plus to get those exclusive perks. And if you want to join us for that, NFL Draft Watchcast, which will be exclusively for those HOTSEED Podcast Plus members. Anything else we got tonight, guys? No?
Nope.
All right.
It's the
We're
hot
good to go.
seat.
It's the hot seat, man. That's what Earl said. Look at this guy. He's on his way. All
I'm trying to bring some new, some movements to this shit. You feel me?
Let's get away from here before he take this to the bathroom and really hit you with the shit.
Pretty much. That